Every day students are starting PhD all around the world, but a lot of them will never finish it. And in this video, I will show you the 5 main reasons students quit and never complete their PhD. So let's get started. Please note that this video is not a demotivating video, and a large number of students who start a PhD also finish it. Normally for students it is difficult to get an advice whether PhD is good for them or they are good for PhD. And this question is hard to answer, and students should seek some advice before they start PhD from people who they trust, because students are embarking on a career which will consume a big part of their life. And most of the students, they assume that PhD is good, and having doctor with their name is a big deal. So this is a short video and which may help some new students in some way by providing a bigger picture. And I would like to see your comments and might make a detailed video. However, the purpose of this video is that out of these 5 reasons, first 3 can be prevented, and we should guide the students who are stuck due to these 3 reasons and make a difference. But for the last 2 reasons, they are a little bit different, and those students do not deserve getting a PhD. So let's talk about the first reason. Most of the time when students start their PhD, they are highly motivated. They have big goals. They think they have become somewhat special just by starting their PhD. They are pumped up. They think that they are someone who is very special. They got this scholarship, they got this PhD position out of the thousands of other students, and they must do something very big. They can do something very big, and they must do something very big which should change the whole world, whole science and technology or whatever their field. So they are so pumped up. Motivation up to an extent is good for doing PhD, but this over motivation is not. And this over motivation is due to not understanding what actually the PhD is. And they think that they have good results in their HSC, in their A level or in their bachelor degree. So they must do something very big and they can do it. And the matter of the fact is that still they need to learn a lot of things. And this getting high score and in bachelor or HSC A level, this means nothing for PhD or for even getting a job in advanced countries. This means nothing. Degree, 99% of the time your degree does not count, or even if it counts, you can say 33% of the time, and the rest of the 2/3 are your personal attributes and your communication skills. And most cases their bachelor degree is even not relevant to their PhD, and they should realize this. Now, coming to the second reason, which is misunderstanding the role of their PhD supervisor. And their expectations are very high. Most students think of a supervisor as a person who distributes PhD degrees. He or she will place them in a room next to his or her room for the next 4 years, will meet them from time to time, hand over to them some bits and pieces of their PhD degree, which they will just put together like a jigsaw, and their PhD degree will be ready. And on their part, what they do, they enjoy their time with their family, with their friends, because they have plenty of free time. They don't care about anything because they think their supervisor will take care of all the things, and after 4 years, somehow they will become doctor. After some time, they start to realize that the guidance is little, the work is hard, and the expectations of their supervisor from them are even higher than their expectations from their supervisor. Then they start feeling the stress, and then mental issues, then starts developing some mental issues. Then they start talking about, choice of supervisor is very important for a PhD. You will see them talking like this, and after a few more months they will say, oh, you know what, I want to do something which I am passionate about. Actually, they were very passionate about their PhD, but they did not realize what the PhD is, how to proceed, how to handle this important career episode. So then after some time, they just quit. And don't get me wrong, that selecting a proper supervisor in your area of interest is another important thing, but that is less important than making too much expectations from your supervisor. Now, the third reason, which I call it lost in the literature review. So, what happens is during the first year, supervisor says to them, you have to do a literature review, of the research papers in your area of research, and they start looking for papers. Every title looks good. Every title, every heading looks relevant to their subject, and they start selecting some papers. Then they start to focus on a smaller area. They read some more papers. Then they realize there are some references in the papers. Then they start reading those references. And with the passage of time, that pile of paper grows and grows and grows, and they are completely lost. They have no idea what to do, where to go. Everything looks so relevant, so good. Every graph is appealing. Every experiment is attracting. So they are lost in their literature view, and after 1 year, they just give up. The fourth reason is, which I call gambling. And you will think, what the gambling has to do with PhD? But actually, this gambling happens in third world countries, so-called third world. You might agree or not, but so what happens there is, because your PhD can give you a promotion. If you are a lecturer, if you do PhD, you can be promoted to associate professor or something like that. So there are a group of people who know that PhD is not for them. They are not for PhD. They won't be able to complete PhD. But they gamble. They think, okay, let's try, let's enroll in a PhD program. If we do, we will become associate professor, some more money. But they know that they are, if they are a lecturer, they are even not doing their lectureship properly. But they just gamble. And some might think that, okay, we will put some other work together and compile a thesis. But unfortunately for them, with modern tools, this is not going to happen. The copyright infringements are very easy to detect with modern tools, and this also needs a separate video, which I will make sometime. So they never complete, they're never able to complete their PhD. So this is the fourth reason. Now, the recommendation for them is, instead of doing this, they should have invested some time in proper career development or even in career change activities. Now, the fifth reason, that happens in advanced countries. So therefore, I put these two specific reasons. One is for the third world countries, and the last reason is for the advanced countries. Why this is for the advanced countries? Because in advanced countries, one thing is that there are a lot of fundings available. Like in Australia, where I live, there is a huge amount of funding, PhD funding available. But this funding is for local students only. No international students can apply. So this funding is for local students, but unfortunately, the local people here, they don't give much credit to PhD. They think PhD is useless. So they don't participate in those funding opportunities. But some people know this. They know this fact. And these are the type of people who I call them career students. They adopt studentship as their career. So what they do, they know how to get funding, they know how to write application, they know how to communicate. Their communication skills are very good. And they get these fundings, they start PhD after 4.5 years, they quit, they go to another university, start in a different subject, and they never complete their PhD, because once they complete, they become ineligible for any further funding. This is the requirement, that the student should not have a PhD degree before. So they do it like this. So why they do this? There are a few reasons. Number one, corporate jobs are very difficult in here. Long working hours, and some people don't want to work too long hours. They hate these 9 to 5 jobs, which actually end up 9 to 7, 7 to 7 actually. So they don't want to do that. They enjoy the easy lifestyle. They work part-time. They get student benefits from government, because students have concession, other things. They also get some benefits like social security benefits. So they enjoy their lifetime with their friends and family, and they never complete their PhD. So these career students are a special type of creature which only exist in advanced countries. So that's it for now. Video is becoming very long. I hope that you find this video useful, and don't expect too much from yourself. Don't expect too much from your supervisor, and don't think that every paper is relevant to you. Try to figure out which paper you should read and which paper you should never read, never ever. So thanks for watching. See you next time.